Welcome, race fans. Welcome to the Adrian Newey division for SVR. My name is Webbo. I apologise for the last-minute call here. This was a race I was supposed to take part in, but unfortunately, very minor injury yesterday means that I'm unable to compete today. So my teammate's going to step in, and I thought, well, given that I've got a bit of a crazy week planned here, it might be a good idea to get this one out live for you. So I hope all is well. I hope you don't mind, and we're here to enjoy the race together. Give me a shout if you've managed to tune in. This is how the championship looks in the AN division after the first 10 complete rounds of our championship. Mega Racing lead on 245 points, only 19 ahead of Delesi. With Jamplacht Interiors on 177. We have Buckstein on 134. Kimi's racing team have 124, just moving ahead of Brocargo, who have managed to scramble some drivers at the last minute, it seems, for the race, although none were checked in the last time I checked the website this morning. And Coach Dave have 101 points. This is a bit of a swap around then, kind of a session. We've got lots of people out. We've got lots of people replacing others from different divisions of our racing. Even though this is the beginner league, as it were, but better to have a full grid, I think. The championship standings are as follows. Pat Finn holds on to his lead at the head of the championship by only 3 points now, and it has been since round 4 that Pat Finn has stepped onto the top echelon of our podium. 4 wins for his main rival in the championship so far, that is Wask in P2. Revelit and myself joint on points on 92 at the moment, but Revelit, I'm sure, will outscore me here, and whether I make it for the next 2 races remains to be seen. Biggerwood is in 5th place. Thump is moving on up in the order after joining us in round 4, and finds himself in 6th. But I expect him to be heading towards the podium positions pretty soon. Rizbak is in 7th on 63. We have Sparky Watt in 8th on 50. Brum has 47 points. We have Yabo on 38. So Grinch on 29. Hervas 24, and then come the rest of our drivers in this order. We've got Milo, Rhino, Bannon, newcomer M. Capas, and Apex Not Found, who, well, there you go. He is taking part. I know he races in G2, but looks to be have moved in to become one of the permanent drivers for Coach Dave, it seems, at the moment. So that's this is how the championship has changed course. For a very brief moment, I was second in the championship with my teammate, but his lead has been narrowing ever since I think Wask came into the fray here, and as we get further and further in towards the championship, it is as close as it has ever been in the championship for Pat Finn and Wask. So this is the story going into the race. I'm ready to get underway for the race. I think we're starting qualifying any minute. A 10-minute qualifying session. The weather right now looks to be set at C6, so it's thick clouds for the session here in Spa. There is the threat, of course, when you start on thick clouds, there is a minor threat of a certain percentage chance of rain. So who knows? We may get some rain. So thanks to Phil, who actually is watching the stream and timing as the race director here to get underway for me. Qualifying then, about to get underway. Proper qualifying session for our drivers here, which is great to see. I'm just going to make sure I can see who everybody is, and you can see what's going on while I switch over to the main display. And we've got for the first time, we've got our proper SVR Hector dash ready to go. Hervas it is who's first out of the pit lane, so he'll be warming up those tyres. Now, in the very small amount of practice I managed to get done earlier in the week when I found a moment I wasn't commentating. I found that that you are pretty much likely to get either 4 or 5 laps in maximum, depending on your positioning out of the pit lane and how quickly you can go, which of course causes problems when it comes to trying to run 2 sets of tyres. So I'll be kind of expecting here to see the drivers stay on the soft tyres, on the first set of soft tyres, unless they bin it on the outlap or the first flyer, in which case obviously it's anybody's guess. Wask appears to be second out of the pit lane, which is in a good position for him. You've got his main championship rival Finn, and of course his often rear gunner Thump there in 4th place out of the pit lane. Here is Finn for Team Mega with his Maple Leaf, and then you've got Thump just behind him as well. Debuting in the league today is Focal in my seat, and I think Komakopa as well in the Bro Karga. So that's going to be very interesting to see them those drivers convert their usual GT3 driving skills into the aerodynamic active car here with the it's not an open wheeler technically, but it is a Formula car, as Hervas is going to be, I think, the first one to tackle the race, the qualifying session, and those clouds certainly do look very thick and dark. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with a tad of the moisture dropping here. Let's ride on board then with Hervas, who is trained very strictly and well by his leader of the league, of his division, excuse me, his team, Lord Vader. That's going through La Source, and then it should be a nice flat out run here. We'll see how low in downforce the drivers decide to dare go for this one, for the ultimate top speed on this portion of the race through Radion, down the Kemmel Straight, and then of course after Blanchimont and into the bus stop. Waiting to see then. It's a long wait in these fairly underpowered Red Bull Junior cars. Very late on the brakes into the 50-meter board portion there, through into Lake Comp, and now very quickly into Malmedy. Car should normally understeer to the outside of that comma. Then it's very technical braking point here into Rivage. Wait for a very late apex to get a narrow, an early exit out of the corner. Set yourself up for Jackie X corner. Flat to the floor then with the throttle as soon as you dare, and then run as wide as you possibly can. Not as wide as the F1 game will let you. And then heading into Pouhon in 5th gear is Hervas with a slight lift, the tiniest trace of brakes going on. Short shoot down towards Les Fagnes, the Piff Path chicane, as we run in now. First right, then left. It will head towards the right once again for Stavelot. And this is really important to nail your throttle on the exit of Stavelot onto those familiar red and yellow curbs through Paul Frere at full chat here. And this is where the penalties will be paid later on, and you can see just how dark this sky appears to be at the moment. Hervas, the Spaniard, relatively late comer to our league, but improving with every single run. And then flat out as we run all the way down towards the bus stop chicane, waiting then heavy on the brakes in towards that bus stop chicane. First right, then left. Get the power on as early as you dare. That was slightly too early because the car wouldn't rotate. Hervas crosses the line. What does he manage? At 218.7 at this stage. Wask crosses the line at 217.9. That was quick from him, as Bannon manages to go and stay in 3rd place. This is Pat Finn on a 218.2. Thump will cross the line next. Next up, he goes 4th for 220.0. Zagrinch is next to go across, and these are the flying laps now, as Brum was right with, I think, Revelit, who went round the outside of him through the bus stop. I think we probably ought to see that one again because that's not exactly plan A in qualifying. In towards the chicane we go, and Revelit is making an overtake. There is contact during qualifying. That is something you don't tend to see a lot of, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, I suppose, as Revelit crosses the line, and he has gone into the pit lane. How he managed to get into the pit lane that early, I guess he reset possibly, but Komakopa in P7, just getting to grips with the car. Let's go back up to P1 then and see how exactly is Wask doing. We'll join him on board. He is catching Hervas, so he might be ruining the fact that he took a little while to get out of the pit lane here. So firing down towards that Pouhon corner. Not catching Hervas too quickly at this stage. We'll get an update on the laps as we run through the next chicane, and after Stavolo corner, kind of right-angled right-hand turn, heading down into this Stavolo corner. Then wait for that update. How are we looking? Are we a purple time? We are purple by 0.3 of a second. What about Finn as he comes through the tricky technical section here? How much downforce is he carrying right now? And that is personal best, but not the best, as Wask appears to be bossing this one. And look at the toe our championship leader has managed to pick up here on the back of Hervas. Ignore the refueling. That is bogus. That is just a glitch in GT7 that we've been living with for some time. Wask runs through, overtakes Hervas, who accommodates that one, goes into the pit lane. That's a faster time from Wask, but it is not unassailable. Into the pit lane comes Finn. He felt like that lap wasn't going to be the one for him, so he pits. The difference between the championship challenges here, Wask and Finn, 0.4 of a second in that first run in qualifying. Here is Focal. He is 4th at the moment in his first competitive drive in the Adrian Newey car. A little bit late getting out of the pits, maybe making some last-minute adjustments on his run, and he is going personal best at the moment. But his deficit to Wask at the head of the field, a clear second, so he's going to have to pick up a hell of a lot of time in the final sector. Hervas has pitted, so he's not running at the moment. Where is Thump? He's on a cooldown at the right now. Hang on a second for me. There goes Apex not found, I think, running through. No, that was Hervas on his outlap. This is Apex not found. Not exactly finding the grip on the way out of last source. Let's maybe follow that one again. I'm not laughing at him, just at the timing of joining him. Apex not found, runs into last source, a bit wide, very early on the throttle. Oh, we go off track, and unfortunately the Alonso line doesn't work for our Spaniards here today. Back to the action then. I think Wask is still running on his first set of tyres. A minute and a half to go in qualifying. The drivers who pitted after lap 2 have really had to get on with it, and will have one opportunity then. It looks like Wask has used the best out of those soft tyres. I wonder if that is going to be too much here. That's a half-second penalty to pay on his next lap. Wask ruins his next lap here by half a second off throttle, but of course the effect of that is all the way down to the next to the bus stop, so that is really going to hurt Wask, and perhaps he's left an opportunity to Pat Finn, who may be able to challenge him here. There is a car in the pit lane, I believe, right now, just waiting there, because there isn't time. There's 45 seconds for Pat Finn to make it down, to cross the line and start a flying lap. Can he manage this one? This is getting very, very close. Wask on the fastest time, Finn second, Hervas third, and newcomer keeping my seat warm for me in P4. It's Focal, 28 seconds, making a gap now. He feels comfortable to the line. Let's hope there is enough overrun on the qualifying time, because obviously it's a longer lap. I would get on with it if I were you, Pat Finn. So firing out of that of the bus stop we go, with a one-shot deal here to try and take pole position for Team Mega and get a good opportunity to get back onto the top step of the grid. A little bit of lag, I think, being picked up here, possibly slightly wide on the exit of last source. Let's see, perhaps he'll be just regretting not being slightly closer to that Delesi in front. That is Thump, I believe, in P5. There he is, running, and we will see as he approaches the next timing beam. How is Thump's lap looking? He's got a 1.3 second deficit to his teammate, who has the provisional pole position. That's worst time from him this time. It's a purple from Pat Finn, despite that run through La Source, which may have not been exactly what happened for him with this lag that is being picked up on my live feed. He won't be feeling that right now. So Finn has an opportunity here to take the pole position. They have been trading lap times through the week in the discussion board, and we'll see if they manage to do it. Gyros Kai saying lag happened when he started watching, so it's his fault. Okay, Gyros Kai. No, I think it's just when I go to Pat Finn, unfortunately, at the moment. But of course, this is the real key. It's the final qualifying lap. I'm just hoping that we do get to see his very best, and he gets to finish this flying lap into Le Fagnes now. The Piff Paff chicane to the right, to the left. We are catching Thump. Thump is going to want to get out of the way here, because not least as to not get a penalty, but also he doesn't want to give a tow here to Pat Finn. On the way out of the corner, how is it looking? It is 0.06 of a second only, and it's purple. So there's still lots to do before the end of this qualifying session. We haven't done qualifying for this. We haven't broadcast qualifying for AN before for a fairly obvious reason. But Pat Finn has the chance. He's second place. He's got a 0.4 of a second deficit. A mild distraction up front here with the Bro cargo car coming through the bus stop. But Pat Finn will go. I think he's going to make it. He's got a few seconds left of qualifying. He's going to the line on new tyres here with low fuel, and Pat Finn takes it by 1.5 of a second in the end. Will that be an advantage or a disadvantage into Les Combes for the first time? But number 16, Pat Finn, takes the pole position away from Wask in the dying seconds of qualifying. No one else is able to tackle a lap at the right now, so it's Finn, Wask and Hervas with Focal in fourth. Thump down to the third row then for Delesi. He sits in P5. Apex not found, showing in P6. So Focal and Apex not found, joining the league today and performing very well indeed. Top 6 for both of them. Rhino 7th and Sir Grinch 8th, with Revelit in 9th, Biggerwood in 10th, Rizback in 11th position, Comacopa in 12th, Bannon in P13, and Brum in P14. Kuros Kai, appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much. And you say getting ahead of the pack is usually good, except that first turn can be very, very messy. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. I don't think Pat Finn has out-qualified Wask for some time now. So he has had to follow Wask through the races and study that rear diffuser for an uncomfortable amount of time. So very interesting to see as he gets ready for his race. So he'll be very, very pleased with that pole position at 2:17.658. Play at just 1.5 of a second. And look at the difference between the top two and the rest of the field. A clear second between P1 and P3. These two are pushing each other to new heights, and long may it continue. We have this round and then 2 more still to come for our championship. Next up, we go to Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit and to the Monza to finish the season. We will be broadcasting on the SVR channel in a little under 1 hour's time. There is already an upcoming video listed on that channel, so please make sure that that you get ready and set the notification bell for that race. But for now, while we wait for the race to start very soon, hopefully, I don't know. I mean, I could save the replay, but I think everybody else will, and we'll go back to the same settings. It was C6 thick cloud for today's race at Spa. Whether that remains to be seen. I think it's actually supposed to clear up in time for the S1 race, the top tier here at the VR Simracing World Championship. As Pigna is saying, let's go Mega. Absolutely, yeah. Number 3 on the chat leaderboard. We've got live chat leaderboard in operation right now, so you can obviously try and make sure that you stick and are number 1. I'm not sure why Kuros Kai hasn't become number 1 for using the first super chat button, but all the same, Those are available, of course, as is the link to my merch store and ways to contact me if you wish to. But there's a thanks button, there's a like, and of course, make sure you're subscribing. Getting ready for the race then. The lobby just gets reset in time to get underway. Hopefully, all will go well here. I should probably just check the driver chat room, make sure there's nothing that I'm missing out on. Any beef developing. There's been a little bit of beef since Croatia. But the drivers concerned aren't taking part today, so I can't really talk that one up too much. But process of elimination, you'll probably be able to work out who that is. Wask and Pat Finn then in the championship battle. A reminder while we wait. Black Evo saying let's. I'm presuming that's let's go Buckstein in the white and teal cars. I will just give you a reminder then of the championship while I wait for the race to be underway. Pat Finn leading by 3 points only. 3 wins for Pat, 4 wins for Wask, and they have been sharing the podium every single time. No, excuse me. All but 1 times they've shared the race together, they have shared the podium. Absolutely astonishing. So we shall wait and see what happens in this one for the championship. Obviously, if Wask wins, he will take the lead, I believe, of the championship. But Pat Finn will be trying to hold that one off as long as possible. But it really is absolutely anybody's with 3 feature races left to go in the season. 14 laps, they will flash by. We use the soft and the medium tyres in the Adrian Newey division here. So cool because the car, of course, was designed by Adrian Newey. He was given a blank sheet of paper and told to design a Formula car without technical regulations, and he came up with the Red Bull X 2019 originally, or was it the 2017, and then converted this one to be a junior version of it with a lower powered Cosworth engine. Still waiting for the race to get underway. Maybe Phil will check in with us or give us a countdown, but I don't want it to get too close to the S1 race later on. There's often a bit of a scramble for me if I'm driving in this race. I've got to cool down, debrief with the team, and then get the stream going for S1. So yeah, hopefully it will be underway pretty soon. It tends to work out about 31-32 minutes racing, so sprintish length. Obviously the S1 races will run for an hour, but we also have a sprint race today, so plenty to enjoy later on in the broadcast on the SVR Racing channel. And Focal giving the thumbs up to the grid right now. Hopefully that's what's going on. Finn saying Mega is fine, so that's what matters, I guess, is the inference, but that's all he can really speak to as well. Revelet and Bigglewood starting 9th and 10th, next to each other there in the Yamplacked interiors. We've got Komakopa, who I think will settle in. He's an A-rated driver. I think will settle into the car and move forward is my prediction here. Focal is a complete unknown. Usually drives a GT3 Lexus for Team Mega. So who knows how he will adapt to a downforce car. A 2-minute countdown then, 2 minutes for the race. I will probably just take a quick pause for my voice, which is still apparently not good enough to talk endlessly for no real gain. So we'll be back momentarily then with comms. So we should be underway. Thank you very much to Phil for dropping in our race controller. He's ready to go, so we should be ready to get underway. Kuros Kai is saying, looks like a fun one. Rain can definitely be a factor around Spa. So the fairly predictable amount of rain in Spa means that the drivers will have to be prepared for anything. Remember, at the front of the grid, Pat, Finn and Wask sharing the championship lead, sharing the front row as we go for a showdown now in Spa. Finn and Wask at the front, ready for our race. Let's get you some action here. Let's get you a driver to watch in Twitch as well in the run. And it's 5 lights on for the next round of the championship at Spa, and it's drop the clutch and go, go, go. And a nice even start here with Pat Finn taking the inside line. Looks like Hervis moving around, looking for a good exit out of the next corner, as it looks very much like Pat Finn is getting a great deal of lag here. It's going to be hard for us to follow exactly what's going on, as they're about to go 3 wide on the approach to Eau Rouge for the first time. Wask is right there. Focal is following Thump as they go up the hill out of Eau Rouge over the top of Radion. Wask is using the slipstream, which is very strong here, down the Camel Straight. He'll peel to one side. It was almost a bump draft there, as then the two championship contenders go head to head into Les Combes for the first time, and it's Pat Finn who's runs wide. Wask suffering shades of Jensen Button getting elbowed out there. Revelit screaming into the lead of the race out of absolutely nowhere. Both the drivers, they've got all 3 of them coming at the corner. And coming very, very quickly. Let's see, there's Hervas going for the outside to inside, and Revelit goes through like Moses in the Red Sea as the seas part directly in front of Revelit. Wask and Thump managed to recover to 2nd and 3rd positions. How on earth did Thump get up there as well? But it's Finn and Focal who are going to have to do this from behind against Alessi as we run then through the Pouhon corner next up. Finn in down to 4th position from the pole, a little bit defensive on the way into Les Combes. Hervas, the innocent bystander in everything, ran into P6 now with Rhino right on his tail, but the top 4 are Revelit, Wask, Thump and Pat Finn. You've got medium tyres for all the drivers at the front of the race. Let's wait to see if anyone has started on the softs. It was Hervas, so he is behind 5 medium runners at the start of this race. The following order is we've got Rhino and Komakopa going side by side. I'm assuming Kuros Kai will be cheering on Komakopa here. The Brokaga and the Buckstein go side by side on the way through Blanchimon, and there goes Rhino. There goes Rhino out of contention here as he tries to turn in on a very unusual manoeuvre that goes side by side on the way in towards Blanchimon corner. You have to say Komakopa was alongside and into the barrier, and no repairs, no damage will be repaired through the course of this one until the drivers pit. It is as they were at the front. Revelit, Wask, Thump and Finn. Focal, but then Komakopa is already ahead of Hervas as they run side by side out of La Source. How about this from Komakopa running through from near the back of the grid, contact into one of the fastest corners for the 2nd time, and Komakopa muscles his way into 6th position. Outstanding start for the Frenchman. We've got Hervas and Apex Not Found running in 7th and 8th. Our Spaniards for Coach Dave absolutely off the chains here, as we'll give you Brum in picture. The rest of the grid, Sir Grinch in 9th, Biggerwood, Bannon in 11th, Rizback in 12th, Brum in 13th, and Rhino then with the damage now repaired, gone onto the medium tyres. That's a big ask to run 13 laps on the medium tyre. That is huge for him. But what other option did he have? As it's going to be in a coma watching this race, says Kuros Kai, and that's a very different thing when you spell it with a K. Revelit versus Wask at the front. Pat Finn, I felt like he was hoping to retain his lead here as a good opportunity to make Wask follow him, but there's going to be a lot of work done now. How early dare you go for the soft tyres on the outside on a very marginal call, you might run 7 laps on the soft if you are really, really good on them. But this is going to be absolutely fascinating. Of course, we don't know if we're going to get any kind of rain as well happening here, as Hervas looks like he's moving up against Komakopa potentially. Let's have a look at this one. That is Komakopa in P6. Was that a problem just for Komakopa's transponder momentarily? I saw something happen on Hector side by side into Blanchimont once again. Komakopa in the absolute thick of it here. How did he hold on as they make contact going through Blanchimont, and then we run very long and deep into the bus stop. Let's just see this as from the side view. Just roll completely reversed. Thankfully though, Komakopa went that little bit wider on the way through the corner, and he holds on once again despite that run into the bus stop, and now he's holding up the two Coach Dave cars, the first of whom, Hervas, is the one on the soft tyres and trying to hang on. Here is Pat Finn's run then as he goes through Eau Rouge. Looks like we've just missed Wask going for the lead of the race as well. Let's go back for that one into P2. It was already done by the time we got down there. Incredible stuff from him. So Wask has already overtaken. We've got Thump on the inside here, and this is Pat Finn with a purple sector. He's just got ahead of Thump, has he? And he's trying to use his normal racing line. Be very worried about making further contact on the way through the corner. Those clouds look very, very threatening at this stage. Wask leading, Revelit second, Finn 1.5 seconds further back from Revelit, and Wask is off and away and trying to gap the field now. Thanking everything that he's managed to get by. Revelit very nicely as well. Pat Finn just ahead of Wask's teammate Thump, who will be under orders here to make sure that Finn has a difficult day in the seat of his Adrian Newey Red Bull Junior car. Wask, Revelit, Finn, Thump, Focal, Komakopa, Segrinch and Hervas now in P8. Segrinch moving forward into P7. On the standings right now. Let's see him. There is Focal in 5th, Komakopa. We've seen plenty of Komakopa, and somehow Sir Grinch on the soft tyres has moved forward past both Coach Dave cars just momentarily. I thought no, we've just got Coach Dave, and then we've got Bannon here. Bannon making the overtake as Hervas's tyres are going off on lap 3. So that is interesting to see. The medium tyres will run all day, but we only start on 60 litres of fuel. So this is absolutely incredible strategy options here for the drivers. Bannon ahead of Hervas, who gets an opportunity. He leaves the door open. Biggerwood round the outside. Let's see if they can cooperate through the next part of the bus stop. Hervas with a tail slide coming on out of there. Let's see if Biggerwood can strike straight back into La Source. Hairpin we go. Does he dare go for the move, or does he wait for the opportunity using the slipstream on the way up? Oh, that's a big moment for Bannon, who got himself very tail happy coming out of La Source as well. Here we go with Biggerwood running and getting tucked right underneath the rear wing, catching a double toe here. Biggerwood up over the top of Radion, and then he'll be hoping to try and help Hervas move forward a little bit with a bump and run, which is prohibited here in our league, especially in the Formula cars. But no, on all 5 of our divisions, we prohibit bump drafting. But there goes Biggerwood, classic overtake, patient work, but his sights will be firmly set on Bannon up ahead as well for the next one. So Biggerwood up to P9. Let's check out the leaders, the gaps at the front. Well, it's Wask 1.4 ahead of Revelit, who has got Pat Finn catching him now. It looks like Komakopa calming down a little bit, hasn't overtaken someone for a whole lap. Here comes Finn down the inside of a driver being lapped, I believe. That is the Jamplacht interior. Or was that Revelit? That's Revelit who's had a problem. He's got 10 horsepower on his car here. And was it just a momentary problem through Pouan, just tiny amount wide, and then Pat Finn walks through that second apex of that run. I don't know if the problem there for Revelit was deeper and more meaningful than that on the way into the corner, but that is how fine a margin we run here. It's lap 4 of 14. Wask ahead of Finn in P2 now. The reverse of the front row as things started. Finn will definitely have the visor down, will be gritting his teeth here and hoping to try and get back onto the winner's step. Revelet in third. There is Thump in fourth. Behind them, the newcomer, the stand-in driver for Team Mega, Focal, representing himself incredibly well in P5. Commentator will be a bit of a predator here, I think. Trying to size up Focal's strengths and weaknesses. Then it's a strong race for Brokaga in 6th and 7th positions so far. Biggerwood's in 8th. Bannon has managed to go by because Hervas comes in the pits after just 5 laps on the soft tyre. Again, the mediums will be absolutely fine to the end. Risbach has damage on his Kimi's Racing Team car with the Ferrari stickers on, no Ferrari power, but Brum's in P11. You've been watching Brum this whole time. Let's switch over to Pat Finn, shall we? Because we want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on what is happening at the sharp end of the grid. Apex not found in 12th place. Hervas still in the pit lane, being refueled up to 55 litres, I think, there, potentially. So almost back to the starting weight of the car as Hervas in P13 exits ahead of Rhino, who has also made his pit stop but needs to make these medium tyres run a very long stint. And frankly, I think it's probably getting on for a little bit too dicey there. Wask 2.2 ahead of Finn. Revelet just 7/10 in third place ahead of Thump. This should be an interesting one as Team Delesi try to eat into Team Mega's lead here at the championship. Kiros says, saying, I'm ashamed of Comer for not passing someone on this lap. He has to keep the excitement going the entire race. Absolutely, that's definitely what we want. It's great to see Larry watching as well. Hi to you. Sorry, I've been eyes on the main screen so much I haven't been checking on everyone who is watching, but great to have you all with us for the first time live here for the Adrian Newey races. P5 lap 5 here. P5 is Focal, but it is lap 5. Revelet running 2:20. Finn running a 2:18.9. Wask with the fastest lap. The previous lap a 2:18.6. And that gap is starting to grow somewhat worryingly here for Team Mega, but Thump in P4 running to 19.7, a personal best on that lap as we get into that real sweet spot where the fuel has burned off a little, but the medium tyres are still good to go. There is Focal in P5, Commentator running a 2:20.5 that lap as things have opened out a little bit now on the run. We've got Segrinch into the pit lane. Segrinch off the soft tyres. He made them last 5 whole racing laps as Bannon comes past the pit lane in P8. Just running back through the order, see where everybody is. Brum is in P9. And we've got Risbach there in 10th position, catching Brum now. And let's... Oh, Risbach, I do apologise. There is damage on the front of the car, but I was hoping to join him on board as we go through Eau Rouge behind another driver, but sadly it wasn't to be. So Grinch in 11th has managed to overcut Hervas here, who has come out of the pits a lap ago. So Grinch only just pitted. Hervas is on 1 lap old medium tyres and has been overcut by Sir Grinch, interestingly enough here, because they're still on those soft tyres, of course. Rhino in P13. Apex not found at the back of the grid. This is Wask then, 2.4 seconds. He put in another 2:18.6, and on this amount of fuel is a pretty amazing amount of speed there for the Delesi driver. Absolutely nailing these last 2 laps. But Pat Finn, the gap is hovering, starting to drop slightly. Pat Finn just needing to get within about 1.5 seconds, I think, to start getting the distant toe on the car in front. Just running onto the curb, slightly over the white line. I think you're allowed to do that. It's just if you drift further than the curb, I'm not good enough to explore all the track limits. I do apologise. But Revelet is in P3. Let's see if Thump can pick up a distant toe then. If we join him on board, he is about 1.6 seconds away from Revelet. Hervas dropping down the order again. No, that was just a transponder issue once again, we see. As you can see Pat Finn on picture-in-picture. We ride with Thump, Waska's teammate here. It's approaching the halfway point of the race, and behind Thump is Focal catching as well. So perhaps it's better to join him because he's even closer, less than a second behind the second Mega driver, and his instructions are clear here to score as big as possible, not only for Team Mega but against Team Delesi, the car in front with the Volvo badges. So we start the 7th lap of the 14 as we run over Eau Rouge through Raidillon. Very careful of that inside curb through Raidillon, but I think Focal has got plenty of laps underneath him in the at Spa, if not necessarily in this car specifically. We'll see how that one runs. That's a personal best as Bannon and Hervas continue to trade places. Bannon has pitted now, that's why. So Hervas catching, so that only gained Focal about a 1/10 of a second maximum going down the Kemmel straight there. So maybe there's a difference in setup potentially. It could be that Thump is trimmed out for maximum speed and then will suffer through this portion of the lap. Finn continuing to follow. Where is Copa? His pace has dropped off slightly, but he was very aggressive at the start of the race, and it's great to see as well. But incidents are plenty around the Brokaga reserve driver here. Here is Focal. Down to 0.6 of a second, down to half a second now into Lefania. But it does look like his strength is the middle of the track. Thump's strength is the 2 long straights. We'll perhaps even have a look at the difference in miles an hour as they run down towards the bus stop. This is riding with Focal at the moment. And we've got Finn there in P2 in your picture-in-picture. The gap 0.8 of a second between these two. Where does Thump get to as we approach the 150-meter board? He is at 155. No, Focal is slightly faster, so it's all about that exit of La Source. Can he nail the throttle smooth and early? And try and use the slipstream here, as Thump will be feeling the pressure of a Mega driver behind him, and certainly a lot more threatening than if I were in the seat right now. Now it's Thump running a little bit wide. I think this is going to be a slam dunk situation for Focal then, as he will try and tuck in behind the Delesi car. Looks like we do get a little bit of dirty air effect. Absolutely planted that right foot for maximum speed. The downforce sufficient here, giving enough grip versus power to go flat out through Eau Rouge and Raidillon. It's going to be a late one if it's going to be at all. Here comes Focal to the outside. It's a purple sector for Focal as he focuses on his exit out of Les Comps, and unfortunately for him can't quite make it past, but Thump is definitely on the defensive. Revelet there in P3. One of his highest positions for some time now in the championship. I'm just going to check on that and make sure I'm not talking absolute rubbish. But Revelet currently joint 3rd in the championship, but yeah, he hasn't been on the podium since his win in round 5. So this is now round 11 of the championship, excuse me. So some time ago for him, as we look at the battle for P4, and this is where it looks like Focal has an advantage on the way into the Lefania Piff Paff chicane. That is pretty dodgy, as are those clouds looking in the sky at the moment, as we run then into Stavelot. Car number 18, brand new livery applied, hoping the stickers have dried on the car in time for the race today. The humid conditions in Spa won't be helping that factor. But where is Finn at the moment? Well, he's dropped back 3 seconds now. Is the delta between the two? But I think the window is open for a pit stop here, and we'll see if any of our 2 leaders go into the pits and decide to do the undercut. Yes, there it goes from Pat Finn. I promise you, I'm under absolutely no inside information when it comes to the strategy today. But he's thinking obviously along the similar lines to me. That an undercut right now would be pretty powerful, as Focal focuses the mind focuses the eyes on the De Lacy, who went a little bit late on the brakes earlier on. Commentator pits on this lap as well to switch onto the soft tyres very early. As Monkey says, great defence by Thump. It was a little bit rough going into the bus stop, not between them, but just on the ideal racing line there. Here is Focal, 0.6 of a second behind. I think that's slightly further away. Leon saying Hervas was robbed on the first lap. That was an incident, I think, into Blanchimont. And Focal just couldn't get that slipstream working, but he's still getting a personal best time here as the fuel burns off and the medium tyres go. So will it be a box opposite situation here between these two? I think the soft tyres, the power of the soft tyres, the speed of those soft tyres on the first lap. There is a fantastic picture of what a helter-skelter and downhill elevation change into Rivage you get into now Jackie X corner. I'm not going to call this no name. Belgium has a legend of F1 we can name a corner after and keep it there. And as Kuroskai says, yes, you can't lose the you can't win the race on the first turn or lap, but you certainly can lose it. Wask P1, Revelit P2 at the moment, as we've got Finn out of the pit lane in P5 and absolutely gunning on the soft tyres. I suspect. I think Engineer Vicinity will have been spotting a good opportunity for him to come in and get out ahead of Biggerwood there. There'll be an element of guesswork to that one. Let's see if Wask decides now to defend that pit stop from Pat Finn and come in. Obviously a high fuel usage race here in Spa because of the amount of the lap that you are spending on full throttle, and into the pits he does indeed come. Revelit waiting. Will he pit now at the end of this? Is the classic point for the pit stop, I believe. This is what you want to be doing. Focal following the De Lacy in and is right on his gearbox here. They could be next to each other on pit exit. We'll check that out in a minute, because what's important is whether Pat Finn has done enough to catch the 3-second deficit that he had to his great championship rival Wask. There he goes to cross the line. It's 2:32, 2:31 his in and out laps, as he will see before anybody whether Wask has come out of the pits. There is Wask. So there is the deficit now. It is reading about 3 seconds, but Wask will lose time all the way down to Les Combes, as we go and have a look then at the situation with Focal and the De Lacy Thump driver. Oh, well, they've obviously fueled a little bit more, got quite a lot more. Thump going to about 24% on the fuel. Where is Pat Finn in comparison to Wask? He looks to have gained 0.6 of a second only to Wask here. But of course, he'll have to protect his soft tyres a tiny amount more than Wask. The difference they had between them in qualifying, if they can put that kind of lap in, won't be enough, I don't think, to win the race outright. He's going to have to pressurise Wask here. He's going to have to make sure that Wask is starting to feel that Finn is closing in, and that one tiny little mistake could rob him of the chance to secure a sixth victory. Let me just double check that. Am I right, or is it actually a fifth victory? It will be. He's had 4 victories so far. My apologies. Has Wask to 3 for Pat Finn. Here is Focal then. He's lost 3.6 seconds refueling in the pit lane. Let's see if Thump has underfueled or if Focal has, for safety reasons, overfueled the car. There is Thump in P4. 3.7 seconds separating them, and actually Commentator has got closer to Focal. He put about a middling amount of fuel in between the two drivers in front of him, and Commentator then will be running this one as Brum comes through. Where is Brum? Cut back to Brum. There he is, coming through into Stavolo in P7. We've got Biggerwood, and then looks like we've got a great battle pack here. Apex Not Found in P9, who's got a penalty to pay. I think Sir Grinch is following pretty closely behind, and then behind him, Hervas in P11 will be targeting a top 10 at this stage of the race. The drivers always look like they're crashing going through the bus stop. when on the track map that I can see, not necessarily on yours because they are circles rather than arrows. There is Apex Not Found's penalty being paid off. This is Hervas at full speed then. Apex Not Found from the back of the grid up to P11 now. Rhino in 12th, Rizback in 13th, has been able to repair his Kimmy's Racing Team car, and his teammate Bannon with him, but they are now nearly 1 minute behind the leader, who is Wask here, who has started his 11th lap. The gap down to 2.2 seconds. Purple sectors being traded between the two drivers, Pat Finn and Wask. Amazing at this stage as they are pushing each other. They are going as fast as humanly possible on the track at this particular moment, and they are, of course, the fastest cars on the circuit right now. Brilliant to see them pushing quite so hard. This is Thump then in P4. Focal has dropped back now that he's put the soft tyres on, but I think that is the weight of the fuel penalty, and also the weight of Komakopa's breath on the back of his neck. Focal just a little slide through Puon. That's going to help Komakopa get even closer then as they run towards. Sorry, they're running towards Puon now. That was through Jackie X that Focal had the mini slide there. And we continue then, but Komakopa closing in. Just 0.8 of a second between these two. I think these are the closest drivers on the grid at the moment. Yeah, that's certainly what I'm reading here. Fastest lap is with Pat Finn, a 2:17.4. That's about to be broken, I think, by our two at the front in successive chances. We'll see a 2:30.4 and a 2:32, the outlap and inlap for Wask. That is a 2:32 and a 2:31 for Pat Finn, but it depends where their pit box is on the grid. Out of the bus stop we go. Will this be a new fastest lap for Wask? Yes, 2:17.3. Can Pat take it? No, he lost time in that final sector. 3.2 seconds is the gap at the front. Here is Revelit, and Thump is coming very good on these soft tyres, but I'm worried about the fuel load for Thump, and if he has underfueled, or whether he just uses a little bit less than everybody else. But check out the amount of fuel on the dial there for Thump compared to the drivers around him. Focal may have overfueled slightly, but the average would suggest that Thump has possibly underfueled this slightly. So we will see if that ends up being the case. Segrinch is in P9. I think Brum pits then off the medium tyres. Brum has run 12 laps. I think Brum is in for his second stop now. I will confirm that perhaps when we get into the rest of it. But of course, 2.5 racing laps then for the leaders. This is Brum coming in. He's got his Superman symbol on the front of the helmet. Rizback in 10th. This is Bannon in 12th. Rizback has just managed to gap his teammate significantly there, but Rhino and Bannon are very close together now. Pat Finn having lost the pole position at the start with a big incident into Les Combes. I think he'll be glad that he didn't hit the barrier as he went off at the second part of Les Combes. There's a very short runoff out there, and it's gravel as well, and you can total the car. He managed to avoid that, but did lose 4 places in that defending action. That sky does look like the rain is going to come pretty soon. This is Rhino alongside Bannon then down the Kemmel Straight and well ahead. That is, I think, a difference in setup potentially on top of a difference in speed through Eau Rouge. Apex Not Found, not far away from the back of the grid at this stage as well. 4 seconds now. Wask is clear, and he is starting to taste the champagne, I think. Hopefully he's got some on ice. Number 50 comes through the bus stop to start his penultimate lap. It is Wask leading by 4.4 seconds, and he's just going faster at this point. 2:17.2. Finn managing a 2:18.3, and that will decide our race, I think, at this stage, unless Wask drops it, and that is highly unlikely right now. But Thump in 4th, Focal in 5th place, Komakopa coming through 1.2 seconds behind. Let's ride on board with the Frenchman. racing out of the US, which is why he has a USA flag on the car, but he is most assuredly French as we come through the Eau Rouge. I'm wondering if there is any rain. Of course, we won't see any windshield wipers on these Red Bull Junior cars, but the drivers will get rain on their helmets if it does come. Absolutely nobody behind the top group here, the top 6 drivers. But yeah, no sign of rain at this stage. It just looks like it might happen at any given moment. So Wusk leading Finn, the 2 Canadians leading the Hungarian Revelit, and then it's our 3 American drivers, 4th, 5th, and 6th. The first Brit on the grid, Biggerwood in P7. It's great to have such an international championship here at the VR Sim Racing World Championship. A reminder for anybody who is unfamiliar, who has joined us for the first time today, all of our drivers only race in VR, and that is to make a level playing field where we can race together as one and not feel the disadvantage, though it doesn't tend to stop Komakopa, who happily races with those flat screeners. Hervas P9, and props to him for continuing after the hardship at the start of the race. He was running in P3, of course, and I think had the pace to be right up there. That was where he started the race as well. Brum ahead of his teammate Rhino by 1.2 seconds at this stage. We've got Apex Not Found ahead of Bannon, who has been suffering some damage and a drop of top speed there in P14 right now. Kuroskai saying, flat screen is my screen is curved. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Well, 2-dimensional drivers then. Can I call you? Is that allowed? 5.3 seconds Wusk's gap here to Pat Finn, as Revelit looks pretty good at the moment, but something has happened to Thump on the way in. Is that a penalty that he was paying? I wonder. Here he goes down into the bus stop. He's very late on those brakes, it looks like. Komakopa just breathing easy, taking it steady and firing out. But does that then open the door to Thump to chase him down if we'll rejoin the action here? Thump in P6. No, he suffered going through, and this is the fuel situation. I'm pretty sure Thump has turned the engine down. Look at the difference in top speed between himself and Komakopa. That, I think, is Thump having run out of fuel, under-fueled the car, and it's lost him 2 positions right now. Focal looking good in P4, 1.3 seconds away from Komakopa, but a total 7.7 from the podium. Looks like we're going to have 3 teams on the podium, which is always a good day to see. Komakopa in 5th, Thump back down to now P6. He's got a deficit then of 16 seconds to hang on here, and he'll be short shifting, trying to hold on to that position as Biggerwood is in P7. I'm sure his engineer will be saying push now, push, because Thump is on the go slow to the end. So Grinch ahead of Hervas in P8 and P9, Rizbak in 10th, Rhino running 11th with Brum in 12th, not far behind him. Apex Not Found then in 13th, PSC Bannon in 14th. But this is Wusk, who has looked very good from halfway round lap 1. Obviously qualifying in 2nd position. Fuel light is flashing. Soft tyres are about halfway worn. Looks like a good strategy from Wusk. But ultimately, his pace, his consistency has been everything. A 2:17.2, the fastest lap so far. Wusk will win again for the 5th time on round 11 of the championship. Wusk wins in Belgium ahead of Pat Finn, and we will have a very close championship coming out of this race. Revelit in 3rd place crosses the line, and a welcome return to the podium for our Hungarian racer. It is going to be a drag race to the finish as Komakopa flashes the lights. I think that's a sporting flash of the lights from Komakopa on Focal. Focal in 4th, Komakopa home in 5th. Thump limping home on the dregs of fuel in P6 in the end of the race. We've got Biggerwood closing in then on the on the bus stop, just showboating for a finish. I'm sure that wasn't accidental. That was absolutely a deliberate little shimmy over, as he knows we're watching him. So Grinch doing exactly the same. So Grinch about to lose P8 on the final run through the bus stop. Here comes Hervas, who's going to steal it at the end. Let's just see what happened to him here. I don't think there was contact. Well, focus on the Brokaga in front. He felt the need to defend on the way in, changed his line, lost grip, and then just walking through the open door goes the Coach Dave driver, Hervas, up into P8. Cold comfort for Hervas. Here comes Rhino to finish. We've got Risbach on the fumes as well. Brum in 12th, Risbach in 11th, Brum in 12th, Apex not found in 13th. And Bannon will be your 14th and final finisher of the race. But congratulations to Wusk for Team Delesi. Congratulations to Canada for a 1-2. But it's Pat Finn who will, I think, now relinquish the lead of the championship for the first time. Wusk with the fastest lap and point and the maximum score for winning the race as well. So that should, I think, then be a maximum score for him. It will look very good for Delesi in the championship as well. But Focal, I mentioned to him for great driving there at short notice. Wusk ahead of Finn, Revelit, Focal, Comacopa, Thump, Biggerwood and Hervas your top 8, followed by Sir Grinch, Rhino, Risbach, Brum, Apex Not Found and Bannon. Well, thanks guys. I'm about to change everything over for the SVR channel. And we'll be live on there very, very soon for the S1 sprint and feature race from this very track. Let's fingers crossed for a bit of rain later on. But for now, thank you so much for everybody for watching. We will be very grateful for any buttons being pressed at the bottom of the video today. But from me, Webbo, from everybody here at SVR, see you on the other channel in a few moments' time, and we will catch you on the next race day.